take a deep breath in. And as you breathe in a feeling of calm relaxation. And as you exhale, give permission to yourself to release. Release any frustration, any tension, any anger, any resentment, even if it's just an echo. And as you breathe in a wonderful feeling of resourceful relaxation. The kind of relaxation where things feel like they're in flow. That's it. Eyelids getting heavier. Breathing even deeper. Breathing in that resourceful relaxation. And as you exhale, feeling that wonderful feeling of release. Releasing old narratives, old expectations, old labels. As you consider each breath like it's charging up a battery or filling up a cup. As you exhale, you release, and as you inhale, you absorb all of the resources that help you feel like you're tuning in to that frequency. You remember the one. And the deeper you breathe, the more relaxed you feel. And the more relaxed you feel, the deeper you breathe. And as your body relaxes, your imagination awakens. And I want you to recall a memory of a different time in your life. I want you to imagine being behind the wheel of that Mini Cooper. As you imagine looking to your side, see that dog lying on the beach towel, the blanket, there on the passenger seat. And I want you to breathe how you used to breathe back then. Relax your muscles and feel as relaxed as you did back then. I want you to imagine that you, by accessing this memory of finding and awakening that frequency, that's it. Your inner dialogue back then was not in fear of judgment. It was aligned to possibility, abundance, like you cracked a code. And here's the thing. A code breaker knows how to break codes. And if you cracked a code back then, it's inevitable you will crack the code now. So imagine driving around those streets, those freeways, connecting to that feeling of alignment. And imagine driving to a beach. Soft, warm sands. And just imagine you're now there on the beach, wearing whatever clothing would feel comfortable and relaxing on that beach. And just imagine a big blanket there on the beach. And just imagine laying on the blanket and drifting off into a state of indulgent relaxation. Nothing to do, nowhere to be. Just connected to that frequency, that feeling. That's it. Enabling yourself to go deeper and deeper relaxed. And I want you to notice that when you find yourself in that place where there's nothing to do and nowhere to be, that it's easy to start thinking of what's possible, not what's required. Feel the warmth of the sun on your skin, but more importantly, feel the frequency of gratitude and abundance. That's it. And I want you to think about how you cracked that code. You didn't do it with maths, with problem solving. It didn't require huge amounts of effort. You cracked the code back then through a wonderful feeling of alignment, that your desires and values and standards and dreams all felt aligned like an eclipse. Everything seemed to synchronize. Back then you weren't chasing abundance. You were synchronized, and it's the synchronization that unlocked the synchronicities. So notice how your body felt then, where the ease lived, how energy moved freely instead of being rationed. And as you settle into that state, your nervous system recognizes it. I want you to think of something you haven't done for years. Your brain still knows how to do it. And if you did that thing even once, you would awaken those neural pathways. And as you reawaken the frequency of alignment, abundance, gratitude and possibility, allow these neural pathways to feel that they are returning again as your default way of thinking. Any thought, any feeling you've experienced once can return again. And just notice how your body relaxes on that blanket on the beach at that time in your life. Notice how you can breathe deep without needing to force a deep breath. Muscles that have been tense can just relax. In your face, around your jaw, arms and legs relaxing now. And that part that's been afraid of being judged, just dial that all the way down. And instead, turn up the dial on, let's call it self-awareness. When you're aware of your needs, when you're aware of your values, the more you connect to that, the judgment of others is just information rather than something that could be considered coercive or controlling. That's it. Connect to that feeling. Feel a gentle warmth spread through your chest, or perhaps a subtle vibration through your body. A connection to what high frequency actually feels like. Not manic, not rushed, but clean, steady, and abundant. And I'd like to speak directly to the part of your body that sometimes experiences discomfort, and not as an enemy, not as a flaw. That part that tries to protect you. That protective intelligence that learned to stay too vigilant, aware of a facial expression or a sound. I want you to get a feeling that you can acknowledge that part and thank it for trying to help you and to keep you safe. And sometimes pain, fatigue, and tension are not punishments. What if they're signals from a system that once believed that it had to stay switched on all the time? And maybe think of some treatments that you had that changed that. Helped your nervous system learn a new pattern. This moment allows an even deeper update. I want you to feel that right now, your body is safe, that you are supported. You don't need to be looking for danger or disapproval right now. And therefore your energy no longer needs to hide behind tension. And vitality no longer needs permission from exhaustion. And I want you to think of that friend you know who lives freely. I want you to get a sense that they have clear boundaries and they don't believe that they have to be a martyr in order to be a mother. I want you to imagine how they move through life, how they make decisions. It's not that they don't have consideration for their children. It's just part of their considerations. And intuitively or consciously, they know. You can't pour from an empty cup. That when your battery is fully charged, you have more energy to give. When your cup is overflowing, you have more love to give. And when you're in a state of flow, a frequency of abundance, resentment is hard to find. I want you to imagine what it would feel like to fully embrace a belief that says, I am allowed to meet my needs. Feel that belief settle. I'm allowed to feel good while being a mother. Allow that seed to be planted. I am allowed to live life on my terms. It's not selfish to ensure your needs of wellness and hygiene, of energy are met, because motherhood does not require depletion. It requires resourcefulness. And that feeling of resourcefulness amplifies when the cup is full. I want you to imagine encountering a profound experience. Imagine floating up, way up from the beach, into the very center of the universe, perhaps overlooking a huge black hole. And just imagine every star, every nebula, every planet in the entire universe is communicating with you. Or maybe you imagine the universe as a single entity, something powerful. And imagine the universe saying, you have permission to rest, to receive, to be nourished, and to thrive. And when you're willing to accept the permission that the universe is giving to you, let me know by nodding your head. That's it. And not intellectually accept it. Emotionally, feel a sense of liberation, of freedom, that there is no higher permission than the universe itself. And when you feel that, just allow a phrase to start to echo inside you, that there is always a way. Not as blind optimism, but as lived truth. You have found ways before. You found alignment, you found freedom. You cracked the code once. And that means the code still exists within you. So as this belief settles, that there is always a way, anxiety loosens its grip, and fear no longer needs to shout to be heard. And energy begins to rise naturally, not forced, and not stolen from tomorrow, but generated from deep within. And from that celestial perspective, imagine seeing your future. See yourself as a mother who listens to her body, responds early, not after depletion. See someone that feels energized more often than tired. And see someone that has rebuilt trust with her nervous system. Someone that allows themselves to experience joy without guilt. To be a mother without being a martyr. And notice how your body looks and feels in that future. Strong, capable, alive. And if challenges do arise, which of course they will, see that future version of you meeting them from a place of resourcefulness, not fear and exhaustion. Because in your future, which begins now, you are no longer pouring from an empty cup. Your cup is overflowing. Your battery is fully charged, and you are tuned into the frequency where you cracked that code. Start to float down from the center of the universe back into your body on that beach. Imagine driving from that place all the way back to your present, maintaining the same frequency, connecting with that feeling, and getting a sense that through conversations, actions, and alignment, you are unlocking the resources and the courage to hold the line, to create a wonderful new self-fulfilling prophecy. And that future version of you does not retreat, because you know the more resources you have, the better a mother you can be. And everyone benefits when you are at your very best. As you hold that thought, imagine returning to the here and now. Take a deep breath in through your nose and out through your nose. Just wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes. Connect and calibrate into the here and the now as I now count from 1 to 10 to awaken you. Starting to count. 1, 2, 3, waking up. 4, 5, 6, more alert. 7, 8, open your eyes, open your eyes. 9, 10, wide awake, wide awake, wide awake.